Impressive wrestling team this year. Last year they were young and inexperienced. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Cornhuskers, but they matured quickly, and this year they've gelled into a team that's worked its way into the #5 spot in the nation for Coach Tim Newman in his 8th year. Leading the way is #1 ranked Corey Olson out of Rochester, Minnesota, a 2-time All-American, last year's runner-up. Corey's the chemistry of the team. He knows how to win. In fact, he knows how to pin. 12 of those 13 wins come by the fall. He's looking for the national championship this year. The other #1 ranked wrestler is Matt Lindland out of Oregon City, Oregon. 2 years ago, he was a national junior college champion. Last year, he was very disappointed about not placing in the nationals. He went to his coach and said, what do I need to do to win a national championship? Well, he's ranked #1. He's undefeated. I'd say the coach gave him good advice, and he followed it. Nebraska's a very tough team.
And they're going to have to be here in West Gymnasium against UNI, a very good team, about the same type, except we must say that UNI has a disadvantage today because they have 2 regulars missing out of their lineup. That puts extra pressure on Don Briggs' aces, and one of them comes at 158 pounds. After 4 years of wrestling now at UNI, Jamie Byrne has reached #4 in the nation. He is a fine wrestler who has now proved that he can beat the best. He wrestled in the Midlands tournament, finished 2nd in that prestigious tournament. The only loss he had there was to a non-collegiate former champion. And at 190 pounds, Dave Malachek from the wrestling crazy town of Osage, Iowa. He's only a junior. He's already ranked 4th in the country. His coach says he wants to wrestle the #1 man every day. Well, one of these days, he's going to be the #1 man himself. So it's 2 fine teams, UNI and Nebraska, next on Iowa Public Television.
Enjoy TV worth watching on statewide Iowa Public Television, a resource for Iowa's future.
We're back at the West Gymnasium in Cedar Falls for the match between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Northern Iowa Panthers in a series which the UNI Panthers lead 30-5. Lots of those victories were a long time ago, however. It's been closer since, and Nebraska won last year, you see, by 2 points. And it should be a good tussle here today, TJ.
It's always a good one between Nebraska and UNI.
There are the lineups. Now there's a change. You'll notice that Tyree, who's regularly a 118-pounder, is replacing Showalter, who has a sprained ankle at 26 for UNI. And there is Tracy Watts at 150 pounds for UNI. The regular man at that weight is Steve Hartle. Still undecided for UNI at 77, whoever gets to go against #1. And there's some big top-ranked people in those upper weights, so stick around this afternoon. It's going to be a great meet. Nebraska and UNI both well-ranked teams. And there's Keith Poolman, who's refereeing. He's from Charles City, well-known wrestling official and figure in the sport throughout Iowa and the Midwest, and in fact all over the country, because you see that NCAA on his shirt. That means he is an NCAA official. He's refereed the national tournament. And that's Tim Newman, who's done a wonderful job at Nebraska in 8 years, and an even better job in the last few years.
I think he's one of the great young coaches in America today. He's a great recruiter, we know that.
I was just going to say, TJ, he had a terrific recruiting year, and you'll see some of his other people next year that you don't see this year. That's Tim Newman.
It's put together.
And that's Don Briggs, whose outstanding career at the University of Northern Iowa helm is just right in line with all those other great coaches that the Panthers have had, and there haven't been very many over 70 years. Look at that. 11 years for Don Briggs, 139 wins. And those are the teams ready to go on that mat here in, as I said, I think in the opening, a snake pit for many wrestling teams. It's an old gymnasium where you can pack people in and make lots of noise from not too great a distance, and so it can be an uneasy experience for a visiting team. Let's go at 118 here between Brad Brule, a senior, in the dark uniform, the purple, from Northern Iowa, against Darren Giese of the red, the lighter uniform, from Nebraska. One of the best freshmen in the country. He's right out of high school. He was, in fact, the number 3 recruit, it seems to me, TJ, last year.
Well, it shouldn't make any difference if Brad Brule lives up to his ranking. He should. This is very important for Northern Iowa. They need to win this first one. Nebraska's tough up and down the lineup. I know Northern Iowa needs to win it. Come out fast. It's more important for the Panthers to win this match than it is for Nebraska.
Action, guys.
And as good as you come out of high school, it shouldn't compare with a 5th-year senior. And so we'll just see how good he is.
You notice that Brule looks like the one who wants to tie up, and
Center.
Geezy is staying on
Guys,
the
I need more
outside. He'd
action.
rather
More
be out
action.
where he
Set.
could have a little room. And then he comes after the leg from there. You hear the referee, Keith Poolman, talking because he has a microphone. And so we can get in really close. A nice little high crotch move underneath by Brad Brule, and UNI scores first. 2 points, a takedown.
Brule likes to work in, like you said, to the tie. Likes to stay close. He set that up by staying close and attacking. See, he was on the arms, high crotch low, just really caught Giese right down to the mat.
3-minute first period, as you know, 2-minute second period, 2-minute third period, unless a fall ends it. And first period, they start on their feet. They've already flipped a coin to see who in alternating matches will get the first choice about whether to go up or down in this position, the referee's position. And Giese is out immediately on the edge of the mat. Referee Keith Pullman calls it an escape, a loss of control, and it's 2-1 Brule. Brule of UNI on your right in the darker uniform, the purple uniform. He's on there again on that high crotch. Like a high single leg here. Lost it. Darren Giese is a true freshman. He's from Bismarck, North Dakota. What he lacks in experience, he can make up in talent. He was a 3-time high school champion. It's Nebraska against UNI. You have just tuned in for the first match of the 10 we'll have for you here on Iowa Public Television with Tim Johnson. I'm Doug Brown.
Nebraska, you're stalling.
Now that's
stalling.
The reason he's calling for stalling is Giese has not made a shot yet.
And he's been staying on the outside. Brule is making that high crotch move to Giese's right leg, as you notice. He's worked it 3 times and had 1 takedown.
Circle in.
On the edge.
Circle in, Red.
There he came in low
Break it,
again.
guys. Break it.
Referee says they're out of
Get
bounds, so
neutral.
it was a little bit
Here we go. In the center.
after the fact that Brule got what looked like another chance for a takedown. We have 35 seconds to go in the first period. 2-1 Brule. Again, you see Brule fishing for that high crotch. They put the arm in between the legs, and that's a second call against Giese. And this time, it's a point for Brule. 3-1.
The thing about it right now, though, Brule's not being able to complete those, and he needs to get in. He's hammering away. Sooner or later, he's going to get it. But right now, Giese's been able to ward it off, but he's paid the penalty.
Again, he just got to the leg, the upper leg, and didn't score with it. So we go to the second period, and Darren Giese, trailing 3-1, has the choice. He decides to take the down position in the second period for this 2-minute second period. 16 seconds of riding time is in Brule's favor. At the end of the match, figure out who was on top of the other man the most. And if it's more than a minute's worth of difference, that man who has the difference gets an extra point. Brule brings Giese right back. Well, this is a freshman, TJ. This is where freshmen tend to be weakest on the bottom.
This is a very important part of the match for Northern Iowa and for Nebraska, because if Brad Brule can break Giese down and keep him flat, he can not only gain the riding points, but he can break Giese mentally.
Top man.
So again, they come back into the referee's position. Giese's in pretty good shape this time, and he's out. He got up quickly.
It was a good first move. Got some hand control and came out.
Out of bounds. Better.
So it's a 3-2 match. A takedown early by Brule. 2 escapes for Giese, and Brule got a penalty point. Now that's a significant thing here because Giese has to stay in there or he'll lose more points. This time it's a single leg to the other side. An attempt by a beautiful carry by Brule. That's the opposite of that high crotch move. He went to the other side and scored 2.
Red's down again.
Well, off the shot here, he knew where he was. He used his head. See, like that? He's got his shoulder and his head. He knew where he was. He drove in for the 2 points.
So it's a 3-point lead for Brule.
One red.
Living up to his ranking, he's ranked 11th in the country. Giesi's out. He's not able to hold Giesi very well, but as long as he's able to do this, he doesn't care.
2 takedowns.
Nice snap and go around by Brule. And this is good strategy right now by Brad Brule. It's important for Northern Iowa to get as many points as they can in these matches where they know they should win. Now, they should try to get more than a 3-point win, and that's what Brad Brule's trying to do.
If he can rack up a difference of 8 points over his man, it's a major decision, which is 4 points for the team. 3 points for the team for a regular decision with less than 8 points difference. He's trading 2 for 1, and he went under again. 9-4.
Right now, he's going to ride him out. There's only 20-some seconds left. He's going to try to keep him flat and then try to gain those rest of those points in the last period. It's good strategy right now. Brad Brule's doing a nice job.
Just went over a minute. And Darren Giesi has just been hit again with another penalty point. Tim Newman was not pleased with that. But Brule is really taking it to this freshman from Nebraska in this first period, second period. 10-4 in favor of Brule with riding time.
Here we go.
Here again, the last takedown by Brad Brule. Dropped in for a nice double. He was able to attack, continue coming through the man for the 2 points.
Seems to me he looks actually like a bigger 18-pounder, too. He looks stronger than the young freshman so far. And that's an escape for Brule, his first of the match, 11-4. He's up by 7 with riding time. In the opening match, UNI at home in West Gymnasium here on college wrestling against Nebraska. 2 of the best teams in the country this year. And there are some well-matched teams up in the top 5 or 6.
Well, Brule's really got it going for him right now because he can push and he can either score or he'll get Giesi called for stalling.
He locked up a bear hug here, and Giesi had to bail out or go to his back, and it's 13-4. Here's the difference between a senior and a freshman.
And he can do a lot for the team right now, Doug. By not only for himself here, racking up a 4 or 5 point win. This can charge up a team, and this is very important when you come into a meet that's as tight as potentially tight as Nebraska and Northern Iowa. This is what's so important about a dynamic 118-pounder.
And as we said earlier, especially with the Panthers missing 2 men, one of them, Showalter at 126 has a sprained ankle, and Steve Hartle's out at 150. So they need to pile them up where they can. The next penalty point will be, if Giesi is called, would be a 2-pointer. And Brule is going in high. He's willing to throw.
Well, and he's about, yeah, that was a stalling right there. He's backing off. That's 2. I mean, there's no question about this, Doug. It's everybody in the stands knows what's happening right here, and it's a precarious situation for Giesi. It's almost like he needs to go down and get on all 4s and just stay there, or he's going to get cautioned out.
Yeah, and then it would be 6 for the team. Brule still moving in, driving against his man with the last few seconds to go.
Important takedown right here, Northern Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
No, is it close?
He's in on the high leg again, but Giesi just held on with riding time. It's a major decision, 16-4. For Brad Brule, an impressive start. He looked very good against this talented freshman from Nebraska.
That was a very important match for Brad Brule, and a very important match for the Panthers there.
4-0. Northern Iowa takes the lead against Nebraska. The Cornhuskers at 126 will send up John Buxton against Burke Tyree. That's John Buxton. He's a senior. He's a Dakotan too, but he's from South Dakota, Spearfish.
Okay.
Another 3-time high school champion who has been he was a Big 8 champion 2 years ago.
Well, and the only reason he wasn't an All-American last year is because he was injured. And he's a tough kid, and he's looking to be an All-American for the first time. He's won a couple of Big 8 championships.
He's in on that low heel pick against Burke Tyree of Northern Iowa. who's up from 118 to wrestle Buxton, senior from Kalispell, Montana. And that's the first takedown of the match. Buxton in, and he is putting Tyree in a bad position on his back. Did he get 2 points for near fall? He did.
1.
Takedown for Buxton. Near fall makes it 4-0, but a reversal.
2.
First of all, that's a nice job by Buxton on the takedown and getting the 2-point near fall there. He did a nice job of pulling him back, pulling Tyree, but Tyree fought, got the 2-point reversal.
So Tyree, who is, as you can probably figure at 118 pounds, his normal weight, somewhat smaller than Buxton, who comes down quite a ways to make 126 pounds.
Well, if Tyree's going to stay in this match at all, it's going to have to be on the feet. He's going to have to get some takedowns because that's what he likes to do. He's not known for his mat wrestling, really.
Let's look at that reversal.
Look how Buxton came up, kind of a claw there, brought him into a crab ride, brought him back there for the 2 points. He knows right where he is, but Ty was able to get around. Tyree. Come around for the 2 points.
Now we're going to go back to live action here again, and this is Tyree in the up position. He had a reversal when the whistle stopped action. He's still on top of John Buxton. Buxton is known as an outstanding man on the bottom, but Tyree's been in here quite a while with him. In fact, Coach Tim Newman says the only person he knows who can ride Buxton is Tony Perler.
Well, the only one that has ridden him so far this year, and now Tony Perler's a new teammate of Nebraska, transferring from Oklahoma State. And it looks like, talking about 118-pounders, with Burke Tyree being one, won't be surprised to see Buxton go down to 118 later in the year, and Tony Perler came in at 126. Wow, will that make Nebraska tough.
Buxton comes out the back door. In on the leg. He's not going to give it. Referee Keith Pullman is not going to give an escape until he sees whether it's a reversal or not. And they go out of bounds. No control. It's an escape for Buxton. He leads 5-2 with 54 seconds left in the 3-minute first period at 126 pounds between Nebraska and Northern Iowa. John Buxton. Buxton in the red. Tyree in the purple of Northern Iowa with a head control now, front headlock.
That was a low single attempt by Buxton, but it wasn't, he didn't go all the way through with it, and Tyree is able to come in with this front headlock, but remains to be seen whether he can do anything with it.
Buxton manages to get up to his feet where he wants to be.
Stalemate, center.
But he has not... he's not dominated Tyree in the early going, as he might like to. Tyree very active, although he is smaller. This time Tyree comes in low, and it's Buxton with the head control. We're at the end of the first period now, just a few seconds away. 5-2 Tyree. That's the end of the first period, 5-2. Buxton,
Nebraska's new assistant coach, Brad Penrith. People from Iowa know, three-time All-American, a national champion at Iowa, and he's just came from Boise State as the assistant coach to join Tim Newman after Mark Perry left to go to Oklahoma State.
And bringing new ideas into the Nebraska room.
Looks like there's Mark Cody back in the back, the top assistant for Nebraska, who we'll probably see a little later.
Buxton started underneath now, and he's out right away. Makes it 6-2. He has 1 minute and 13 seconds of riding time as we get into the second period. Buxton by 4. He's expected to win here. Brad Brule beat Darren Giese at 118, 16-4.
There's that low single right there, that John Smith type low single that so many wrestlers are learning from, the 6-time world champion who's basically perfected it.
That's 2 red, 2 takedowns.
It is a takedown, but Tyree doesn't want to give it up here. He doesn't like the position if he lets go of that leg.
Wait, guys.
And it's potentially dangerous on the ankle and knee, and so Keith Pullman calls the position off, and it's referee's position here with Buxton on top, leading by 4.
Top man. Top man.
Score 8-2.
How'd that happen?
I think I was given it 6. I only counted up 6. Eight. 8-2.
Top man. Hurry up. Come on.
Buxton in tight.
See, look at now. This is where Buxton's trying. He's coming up with that hand underneath the chest, up into the. He's trying to pull Burke Tyree back into a crab ride, and Tyree's going to maybe not think that he's in too much trouble, and all of a sudden he'll end up on his back. And Buxton's pretty good at that.
Leading 8-2. Buxton, with 55 seconds to go in the second period, comes back to the top position, the referee's position. Keith Pullman sets him up. That's Buxton. Tyree makes a quick move, but he is intercepted there by Buxton.
At the hip, John, at the hip.
And Buxton putting the weight on it. Making it real tough on the Panther underneath.
Hard, Buck. Come on, work it hard.
6-point lead for Tyree, and lots of riding time. On a reversal. That's the second reversal for Tyree, who is,
That's one.
if nothing, he's quick. Well, I'll tell you, he's very quick.
Tyree felt that one. He knew, he just kind of had a sense that Buxton was going to be starting to crank, and Tyree rolled right through it and got the 2-point reversal.
So they're back on their feet again, a 4-point lead for Buxton of Nebraska at 126. 9-4 after the escape, I beg your pardon.
You know, again, Buxton being the ranked wrestler and the person that's actually favored for this right now.
Nice choice.
If Tyree can get the crowd behind him and get the crowd into this, win or lose here, this can help Northern Iowa going into the next match, which is a very key match.
Top man.
Tyree goes to the bottom position here, where in fact he spent most of the second period. A lot of riding time for Buxton. Now he brings Tyree back into that sitting position. He likes to be there.
And you know, the thing about it, it's like you don't feel it, and you don't know what happened until it's too late when you're on the bottom, because it doesn't hurt.
See him suck
And
it
all
back.
of a sudden you're in danger, and so that's why it's so dangerous.
Out of bounds. Tyree is moving on the bottom. He's staying at it, rolling when he gets the chance. He's been able to reverse twice. His 4 points in this 9-4 match have been on reversals.
Top man. Optional start.
Buxton signals the international start. You see the hands in the back.
Orange skate.
Yeah, I think that was a little too late. I think the best thing that he's had going for him, Buxton, is that low single. And actually, there's Tyree in on the low single, giving him a little bit of his own medicine, Buxton. Now, if Tyree can finish this makes it a very, very interesting match.
They have to watch that knee because it's a tough angle there, but and that's exactly what Keith Pullman thinks too.
Potentially dangerous.
Potentially dangerous, and he pulls him out. 9-5 is the score with 1:09 to go.
You know about that, some wrestlers, possibly Buxton, have these real flexible knees, and the kind that the opponent can get in on them and make it look like they're practically breaking it off, and they can stay in there tight, and the referee gets them out of it. And sometimes it's not hurting them, but it looks bad.
Each man made a shot from outside that failed. We're in the last minute now. 50 seconds to go. A 4-point lead for the man in red, John Buxton. Tyree almost reached the leg, didn't. Buxton, the senior from Spearfish, South Dakota, against Tyree, the senior from Kalispell, Montana. Replacing Andy Showalter. Showalter is the regular UNI 126-pounder who has a sprained ankle, and Coach Don Briggs is keeping it off it for this match.
Of course, Showalter, an All-American a couple of years ago.
There is the takedown for Buxton.
One green.
Now, this is real important for both teams. Buxton get the takedown, a couple of takedowns here, and make it a 4-point duel.
Right, an 8-point difference between them. Major decision.
Headgear.
So it's a 6-point takedown would do it. Does he have riding time?
He had.
No. Okay, so it looks unlikely that he would get the 8-point victory. Even with the takedown, it'd be 7.
Buxton in again. And he pulls off the big major decision right at the end.
No, he didn't get a major.
13-6. Well, I thought he had riding time, but apparently he didn't. 13-6. 13-6. And so it's 3 points for Nebraska after the 13-6 win for John Buxton. And after 2 matches, it's UNI 4 and Nebraska Cornhuskers 3.
I think this is going to be a really good match coming up at 134. We got a couple of scrappers, a 2-time national junior college champion from Nebraska. There's Hassel from northern Iowa.
He's ranked 11th in the country.
And Velasquez, tough. Hassel beat him by 1 point last time they wrestled. This should be a real entertaining match.
Hassel starts at, Velasquez starts it right out with that low John Smith type single. And what's going to happen? Can he score with it? Hassel's over the back. In good shape. Good shape. Can he come around? 2 for Hassel. On a counter. That's a big one for UNI. Scott Hassel of Spirit Lake.
Hips down away. Be tough right here. Be tough right here.
Here's this classic high leg, single leg position.
One red.
And Velasquez comes out of it to escape. Gets a point. 2-1 now, Hassel.
Center in.
These are the kind of matches that make a difference in the seeding when it comes to the NCAA. You know, you got a couple of wrestlers that are vying for those top 12 seeds there. And
low, and Velasquez reached all the way in. That was like a double ankle pick there. Again, he's in on that low single, and Scott Hassel is over the back. This time, Velasquez looks like to be in a slightly better position if he can keep his base under him, but Hassel is working on countering him.
Stalemate.
Stalemate.
well, he did a really nice job there. He reaching over onto the waist there, and it looks dangerous. Hassel seems to not mind the position and knew where he was and was looking for the referee to call that stalemate.
It's interesting. Velasquez, he does reach that low John Smith type single. There's a nice outside leg snatch by Velasquez, and he is in a position again to score. Looking for the trip. He missed the trip, and now again Hassel turns into him and finds a good defensive position. He actually scored on it the first time it happened. We have a minute left.
He must have it really tight there. He likes to get it around that waist there, and it's hard for Velasquez to pop his head out and get that 2 point. Hasn't been able to do it yet.
Hassel is known as a counter wrestler, of course. And Velasquez is perfectly willing to take the opening.
Well, something else that Hassel's known for, he's in great shape. You got to go all 7 minutes with Hassel every time you go out on the mat. And it'll be interesting to see how this shapes up.
Here they come back to the center, so to speak. Huh?
Yeah.
They like to stand away from each other. Velasquez likes to shoot low from outside. But this is where Hassel likes it, the counter. He countered with the front headlock, then had to give it up. 2-1 Hassel. You see the time running out, first period. On Iowa Public Television's college wrestling series, UNI and Nebraska. That is the end of the first period, 2-1.
You know, there's Jim Miller, former assistant, and now a head coach at Wartburg, rookie coach of the year, and national rookie coach of the year last year. I stopped by the tournament he was in today. Wow, does he have a team at Wartburg.
He really has.
I was at the Cornell Invitational and I watched the semifinals. And we may talk about this a little later, but that Iowa Conference really has some top-notch teams. And,
Hassel starting at the bottom, by the way, TJ. I didn't mean to interrupt you there,
no,
but he came out 3-1.
It was just real exciting to be able to see so much good wrestling today and to know that you don't have to just go to Division I, especially in Iowa, to see top-notch wrestling. And Wartburg and Miller and then Buena Vista, Simpson Central, Cornell, they all have some real fine wrestlers.
So we time out for a headgear replacement here for Velasquez. By the way, there was a quote in the paper here this last week from one of the other Iowa Conference coaches who said we could probably put together an all-star team that might give Wartburg something of a tussle.
That was Kevin Azinger out of Central, and he said if we put an all-star team together, we might be able to give them a match. And really, Miller's got a team. If an Iowa team in Division III is going to win the Nationals, a lot of coaches feel like Wartburg this year has the best chance that any Iowa team ever has. And so that'll be real interesting to watch it progress.
Scott Hassel is the Northern Iowa wrestler you're looking at. He's talking with his coach, Don Briggs. Brad Penrith there, who is using the old tough teeth on the problem to get this headgear in shape for Frank Velasquez, the 134-pounder from the Cornhuskers. And that's Tim Newman, the Nebraska coach. They're back at it, second period, and Hassel leads 3-1. He's been doing the shooting. Hassel is a counter wrestler, and he's been scoring off the counters.
He got a finger in the eye there, and so he's going to have to go over and get something taken care of him.
Well, what he did was give up his contact lens, I think. Rather than put it back in, he just let it go. And here's Velasquez, trailing by 2. Nebraska's Frank Velasquez from Wenatchee, Washington. He has another year after this, so
Inside, Frank, inside.
good condition to the 134-pound for the Cornhuskers for the next couple of years. That was an odd-looking outside shot, and it didn't work really very well either because Velasquez almost got himself in position for it. He comes up with a front headlock. What can he do with it?
Well, you can tell that Velasquez is a very talented individual. I mean, of course, two-time national junior college champion.
There's quickness on the edge, very quick, and Velasquez scores.
Break it, guys. UNI's down.
He's able to snap around and tie the score. This is a big match. This is what you call a swing match.
Oh, definitely. Right here, the edge of the match, snap on a round right there for Velasquez. He's able to beat the arm that was coming up for to avoid him to get around. He was able to come all around for 2 points.
And you notice it happened right on the edge, too, so it looked like they were, you could have called them out of bounds almost, but Velasquez kept the tussle and scored with it. 30 seconds to go, second period. It's 3-3. UNI leads Nebraska 4-3 after 2 full matches. Hassel just escaped to go ahead here 4-3.
You know, in that last part where Velasquez was on top there, I'll bet he pinned a lot of people in junior college with the cradle and near side and prying the head there, scooping it together. And it's just a little bit different at Division I, and that's probably what he's finding the adjustment is that Division I fights him a little harder.
Again, Velasquez is in on that low shot, but Hassel's been able to get over the back and stop it. The period ends, it's 4-3. This is a really tough match, and they have had tough matches in the UNI-Nebraska series for the last 5 years. Instead it was 30-5 in favor of UNI. A lot of those coming back in the Iowa State Teachers College day in the early 50s. But Nebraska leads in the last 5 years. 3 out of 5, 3 out of the last 4.
Well, as we were talking, Nebraska has developed into a very legitimate top 5, top 6 team year in and year out. They've arrived.
Velasquez, who started the third period underneath, his turn to be underneath, escaped, and it's 4-4. There's no riding time. Again, that low single for Velasquez.
That was a nice job. He snapped, he dropped into Hassel right on the edge there.
But Hassel's in a good shape, in a good position now over the back. They're going to have to call that a stalemate, and Keith Pullman does.
I think Hassel does about as well in that position as anyone I've seen. I mean, we say, well, he's in good position. Well, for most wrestlers, that'd be a pretty dangerous position, but he does a nice job of draping over and wrapping his arms around and getting that stalemate.
And he got his one takedown on that, too. The first time it happened, he was able to come around and score. Velasquez had his takedown in the second period.
Well, he does give up the legs too easily, but, you know, try telling him that because he likes it right there. There again, he gives up the legs, and instead of sprawling out and doing like most and maybe looking for a snap, he finds himself in this position.
Stalemate again.
Stalemate again.
Here we go.
The Nebraska coaches would like to have let that one go a little longer because they thought Velasquez was being where he wanted to be. There's that low single again to the other side.
And see, right here, in most cases, this is terrible position, but for Hassel, he was flat on his butt right there. But for Hassel, he's come around, he's draped over, and here we go again.
Rolled into it. But Velasquez wants to come out the back. And if he can, he could make something work. Here he comes. Can he turn in? Can he shake Hassel off? Looks like he can. Not yet. There it is.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
with 5 seconds to go. A very controversial takedown.
That was a very controversial takedown.
And it's 6-4 in favor of Velasquez over 11th ranked Scott Hassel. And Don Briggs wants to talk to Keith Pullman about it.
I know, but as long as he has the ankle.
Well, it's a judgment call, so it's going to be to no avail for Don Briggs here.
I call it. Shake hands, guys.
So they have something to settle next time. They each won one. And that's a big win for Nebraska.
That's a big win. Now here's the winning takedown. He comes down. Now as Hassel goes to his chest right there, he's got his ankle right there in a position where I'd say it would be pretty hard for Velasquez to come around for 2, but the official says 2. There's Newman and Penrith, and I'm sure Penrith and Velasquez wrestle a lot in the room, and it's very gratifying for Brad to have his pupil win.
There's a happy winner. He finally made one of those low shots work. Velasquez 6-4. Nebraska now over UNI. Well, let's go to 42. Nate Hartle in the purple, sophomore from Sioux City East for UNI. Against Mike Eierman, a sophomore from Chicago, St. Lawrence. 2 sophomores. Nate Hartle with the front headlock position after the shot. This again is another big one. Every match is big in this series. And in this meet today at West Gymnasium, UNI against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Again, we're happy to have you watching on not only Iowa Public Television, but Nebraska Public Television today. Good move by Eierman.
2 takedown.
And the sophomore from Nebraska takes the lead 2-0. That first takedown is awfully important, although Scott Hassel was the man who got it in the match just ahead of this one, and then lost.
Use it, top man, and go to something else. Mike Eierman on top. This is where Hartle wants to be. He's trying to turn in on Eierman, although Eierman has the leg. He's in better shape than he looks like.
Right, he's an unorthodox wrestler. You can tell that he doesn't mind being in some precarious situations there, and he came out on top. Now he's got a lot of pressure on Hartle again.
Tim Newman told us that he thinks Eierman is one of the most entertaining wrestlers he's ever been around. And so when you think he's in trouble, he's about ready to pin you.
He's looking for the cradle, but Hartle is able. No,
look at that.
Hartle was able to slip it so that he didn't come down with the conventional cradle, but Eierman was ready for him and came back, saved himself, and had to put the pressure right back on Eierman.
So Eierman from Chicago leading 2-0. Hartle comes out, makes it 2-1 with 38 seconds left to go in the first period. Eierman of Nebraska. Hartle, this is Nate Hartle, one of 2 Hartles on the UNI team. Sort of like a fireman's carry or a high crotch, but ended up a low single, and Hartle is going to go into a roll with Eierman, who looks like he's very comfortable in this position.
Well, I was going to say, you said Hartle was going to go into a roll with him, and that's exactly what happened, because Eierman did initiate that roll. And in fact, he likes to get rolling. He likes to get scrambling. He's very comfortable in a scramble, and I'll bet he usually comes out on top.
4-1. Eierman over Nate Hartle. Nebraska leads after 3 matches, 6-4 here on college wrestling on Iowa Public Television today. That's Nate. 142-pounder. In his second year for wrestling for Don Briggs at UNI.
Again, I think you can throw the basics out here with Ironman. It looks like he's down on the mat flat, but we've already seen that he likes to kind of tie up a wrist and elevate and do some types of rolling, and so it's he's probably just thinking of his plan right now.
Yeah, Tim Newman said, I've never seen him stand up. I've never seen him do a stand-up.
He just did.
There it was. 5-1 in favor of Ironman. And they're on the feet. There's a nice knee tap. That was a beauty by
front headlock, knee tap, snap around. That was a good job by Hartle.
Maybe we'll get a chance to see that again, but that was a very nice counter move, an offensive move by Nate Hartle. Gets a takedown and puts him right back in the match. 5-3. Knee tap off a front headlock. He normally doesn't like to ride a lot.
Action, both wrestlers, action.
But he's working hard to keep Ironman flat.
Stone, Ryan, Stone, head down.
There's a warning against Ironman.
Well, again, maybe shape will have something to do with this, because Hartle looks like he's in good shape. This, again, Doug, you know, this is a match that Nebraska expected to win. The match before is a match that Northern Iowa really wanted and expected to win. Right here is very important if Northern Iowa could come out with a victory here.
Ironman managed to get out there. Here's that takedown we were telling you about.
Okay, he's got front headlock, little knee tap, spin around. See how he did that? He flattened him out, tapped the knee, and went around for the 2 points.
6-3 Ironman after the escape. And that's the end of the second period. Here's a reminder that at intermission today, we'll be talking about Iowa Public Television's coverage of next week's National Team Championship. We'll review the quality field that'll be at Lincoln. We'll have it for you live next Sunday at 4. And then we'll also show you the rest of our schedule and the statistics as teams from the first half of this set of 10 matches today, UNI and Nebraska. Now, Ironman starts on top, leading by 3 in the third period. Now, there is a penalty against Ironman. He was warned the first time. This time he is penalized because he is not allowed to stay in that leg position without trying to improve it.
Well, if Hartle can put the pressure on, a lot of back pressure, come up, explode out right now, it could make a difference in this match.
6-4.
Got to keep his legs out, though, see?
Quick turn in.
No, he doesn't want to get into that cradle action with him. He just wants to get out of there. You start playing with fire when you try to do the same thing that Ironman's so good at right there. He just needs to come up and get out. Ironman likes to be right in here, close, legs tangled up, laced, all that.
He's coming up on riding time, too, TJ. He has almost a minute. You see him reaching under there looking for cradles whenever he can. That's Nate Hartle. He's in this match. He's down by 2 with 1:10 to go. He's down riding time, though, so it's actually 3 for intents and purposes. So he has to do more than just get out or just get a reversal. He needs both. Here's a reversal.
He needs
by Ironman, by Nate Hartle. And I think Ironman is hurt.
Well, maybe his feelings more than his physical right there. He's...
Let's look at that reversal.
Okay, he cleared the legs. He didn't let Ironman in on the legs this time. That was real key right now. Now he gets his elbows in there, has the toe right there, comes in, switches his hips, does a nice job getting on top for the 2-point reversal. Important thing right there when you have a legger like that, the first action has to be to keep the legs out. And Nate Hartle did a nice job of that. Right here again. Here he did, kept the legs out. Did a nice job of coming back up for the 2.
56 seconds to go now in the third period in this match at 1:42. And here's the situation for that man and for Nate Hartle. The scoreboard has it 6-6.
Well, now it's 7-6. For all purposes, there, a nice high cross. Now he needs a cutoff for the double. Needs a cutoff. That's going to be hard to do right where he's at right now.
Because Ironman has 1 minute and 16 seconds of riding time.
Everything's going Nate Hartle's way right now. If you look at his eyes and you look at how he ran back to the center, if he can just keep it basic right here and make a good shot, he has a chance to take it in overtime at the least, see?
Front headlock. Stalemate, back to the center.
If he pushes him here and gets a stalling call, that'd be one more. There, now he needs to come up with that.
30 seconds to go.
Come back up to the base.
Ironman is rolling it.
Right there, he needs to come back off.
And he got it.
If he rides him out, he beats him. If he rides him out, he beats him.
Because there's 1 second.
Yes, if he rides him out, he beats him.
But if he doesn't ride him out.
If he rides him out, he beats him.
If he doesn't ride him out, it's a draw.
And there's no draw, and they go right into overtime.
Well, he has to get past 105 first. He has to hold him for 5 seconds or else he loses. It's very, very important here.
All he needs to do is hang on here.
All right.
Big win.
And it's, well, no, I don't know. There's a minute of riding time.
No, that's not right.
See.
6 seconds left when we went down. You should have 59 seconds on the riding time. No, it's not your fault. Yeah, there was 6 seconds left when they went down, and that means it has to be 59 seconds because there's 1 minute 5 on the clock.
Oh, this is going to be controversial too.
Yeah. 6 seconds on the clock.
We had the same thing happen at Nationals. They were talking about halves and 3/4 inside the back of the clock.
There's 6 seconds.
Can we
on the
listen
clock.
into them?
It says right now is what it says right now.
It could be 5 seconds, 0.8.
Yeah, and that's exactly
I
right.
think Newman has a
We
good
lost
point.
the protest at Nationals on the same exact thing.
Actually, when we took him down, we had 2 seconds merit in there, so it's like a 2-second discrepancy.
And I think Briggsy has a good point there, too.
It should be 58.
There's later earlier in the match.
We started the clock slow on one. Actually, when he got the reversal,
All I know that about the clock, but there's 6 seconds on there and 1 minute 5 riding time, so there should be 59 seconds on there.
1 minute riding time.
Well, it's
Well, it's kind of hard to see right here without seeing the clock. But what's happened is when he got the takedown, there were 17 seconds left, and Nebraska had 1 minute 16 of riding time. So theoretically, if Hartle rides him out, he gets it down to 59 seconds of riding time. But guess what happened? He rode him out, but the riding time didn't go below a minute. So we're into fractions, see? Briggsy's point is Pullman was late on calling the takedown, and it really should call it a 2 second period. But I think Newman has a point. The clock says 1 minute. And so, how can you just, so really there might have been 59.6 seconds left, so when you round it off, that's a minute.
Well, you can take a look at the clock. Maybe we can get a shot of the clock.
That's why you need a clock that goes all the way to the tenths.
There's the minute. You see, there's the way it ended. 1 minute.
I'm ruling you and I.
And
that is the point. It's like basketball in this situation.
All I know, it should
here.
read 59.
Time is up there, and he's not going to help us on purpose.
Well, he doesn't have,
He doesn't
control
have
on
anything
the
to do
clock.
with it. That's
If
exactly
the
what
clock
I'm
don't
saying.
find, all I can say is 6 seconds off should be 59 seconds. Okay, whether the clock is not exact or not,
5.5 seconds.
I got to call it that way because that's the way I saw it.
so it is not going to go Nebraska's way.
We lose an 8-7 match with a minute of riding time up on the clock. We're going to lose an 8-7 match with a minute of riding time
And
on the
what
clock.
Pullman's
That's
saying
not
is,
right.
they stopped the
but
match
I
and
know
went back
there's
to the
6
center.
seconds and
There was
5
a
seconds.
minute,
That's the way it has to be.
there was 6 seconds
But I
left,
can't control the clock. I
and
know there's 6 seconds.
Nebraska
It should be
wrestler had a
59
minute
seconds
5
on the clock.
seconds riding time on the clock. He said, okay, it's very obvious, math is easy. If Hartle rides out Nebraska, it should be 59 seconds. Hartle rides out Nebraska, but it doesn't go to 59 seconds. It goes to a minute. So Newman says, a minute on the clock, give me a point.
And it goes to UNI. We've had a couple of controversial ones here, and that was about as iffy as anything I've ever seen. That was an amazing situation.
Yeah, this argument goes both ways there.
But Nate Hartle is officially the winner over Mike Eierman, 8-7.
And I'd say when you really look at this as a fan, Northern Iowa and Nebraska just evened out in the last 2 matches. It was just as controversial on that call for the takedown the match before.
150 pounds. Here are 2 Iowans against each other. Rick Coltvet of Nebraska against Tracy Watts.
Guys, break it.
Of Bellevue. Rick Coltvet is from Eagle Grove, Iowa, who originally started at Iowa State, transferred to Nebraska. He's the regular man at 150. Qualified for the NCAAs last year. Tracy Watts is replacing Steve Hartle for this match. And Coltvet just scored the first takedown on the edge of the mat.
He had 2. Green's down. Top man. Top man.
Back to the center again with 30 seconds to go.
Lift him. Get him up first, lift him.
Out.
The Coltvets from Eagle Grove have liked Nebraska. Jeff, of course, a 4-time NCAA qualifier and the most valuable player, or most valuable wrestler on the Nebraska team in 1988. And now Rick transferred from Iowa State, and electrical engineering major, and doing a nice job for Nebraska. Qualified last year for the NCAAs.
Of course, I think everybody knows what kind of pressure that puts on you when you're an electrical engineering major. In fact, this year, he said he really didn't get started at wrestling conditioning until Christmas vacation after that first semester when he had a huge amount of work. Rick Coltvet, there's Don Briggs. His team leads 7-6 after a most controversial ending at 142. Tracy Watts, senior, been in the room a long time at UNI. He's from Bellevue, Iowa. His record this year is a winning one, 12-10, but he's not been the regular man at this weight.
Off the mat, guys. All body parts are off the mat.
This is the kind of match that Nebraska needs and wants Coltvet to try to get. There's Tim, Tim Newman, who's a little amused by the last go-around, but like I said, it's 6 of one, half dozen another in those last 2 matches, and they came out 1 in favor of Nebraska and 1 in favor of Northern Iowa. As I was saying, this is the kind of match that they expect Coltvet to win, and they'd like to see him get an extra point win.
Break it, guys. Out of bounds, stalling UNI.
Stalling against Watts.
This is very important that Watts stays in and wrestles just a really, really tough match here and try to keep it close and keep himself in it, give himself a chance to win it. But not a time for Northern Iowa to have one of their wrestlers step aside and not give a big effort. A very important match.
Coltvet is the attacker here in this match for the first minute and a half. We're in the 3-minute first period. Coltvet in the red of Nebraska, leading 2-0. Against Tracy Watts.
Nebraska's one of the teams that's chosen to pretty much have their, I wouldn't call it preseason, but first part of the season, almost all tournaments. They have only wrestled 1 dual meet, and they have been in tournaments and seasoning themselves, and now they're going to get on the dual meet road here. This is only their 2nd dual meet, losing their first one to Iowa State.
In a close one, 18-15 at Lincoln. And we'll be at Lincoln next week, remember, for that National Team Championships. We'll be telling you about that after this match.
Out of bounds.
Coltvet leads 2-0 with 36 seconds first period remaining. This is what's happened so far. Scores on the left are the match scores, the 2 figures on the right, and the team score is 7-6 in favor of UNI right now. Coltvet and Watts.
Circle in. Out of bounds.
Wrestlers from Iowa, both of them.
In the center of the mat. In the center of the mat.
In fact, as you know, almost everybody in the UNI lineup is from Iowa. Tonight, Burke Tyree was the only import. There it is again. That was, there's the way it's actually gone here. Brule beat Giese, a major decision. Buxton won, Velasquez won for Nebraska, and that last controversial one, Hartle beat Ironman 8-7, and so it's 7-6 in favor of UNI after 4 matches of the 10 you're going to see. We're at 150. There goes Rick Coltvet back out again. He was a one-time champion in high school.
Yeah, very successful his senior year. He was even a 4th-ranked 145-pounder in the nation coming out. Was a high school All-American, and so another top Iowan that Newman didn't get right off the bat. He went right over to Ames, went to Iowa State, and then decided he liked
injury time.
What had happened with Jeff, his brother, over at Nebraska, and decided to go over to Nebraska and get into that electrical engineering program and wrestle for Newman.
And he escaped right at the beginning of the second period here to make it 3-1. Coltvet over Watts. It's a headgear problem again, yes. 7 seconds gone in the second period as they come back. Coltvet by 2.
You were talking about that huge load he had. In fact, he didn't wrestle in the practice room any more than 2 times a week up until a couple of weeks ago. Coach Newman is telling us that.
On the edge of the mat, it was Coltvet with a nice single into down into a low double on the edge. Watts was not able to get away, and so Coltvet took him down right on the edge of the mat the second time on the edge. 5-1 Coltvet. Now he's trying to put Watts up on his back in some kind of a tilt position. He's leading by 4. We have a big one between 2 top-ranked wrestlers, number 4, Jamie Byrne, and number 1 ranked Matt Lindland of Nebraska, next at 158 after our intermission. Some of the people here in
Top man.
UNI's West Gym, it's Tim Asherle, former Drake wrestler and former UNI student assistant coach there watching on the sideline. Coltvet in tight. Watts has not been able to get out in this second period, and there's more than a minute of riding time for Coltvet. He's got both legs in, and he's flattening Watts down.
This is where Tracy Watts needs to come up, try to get out of those legs, come up to his base, and just work for a point at a time, stay in there tough.
Man. You got to go to something else, okay? Can't get him over, go to something else. Set.
Coltvet controlling the match right now.
45 seconds to go, second period.
Time man.
On Iowa Public Television College Wrestling Series. International start. Coltvet turns his man loose, makes it 5-2. He's quite confident on his feet. He looks quicker than Watts now, and here he comes.
Watts is in on a single right here. Now he just needs to improve his position right here, keep his knees underneath his hips, not get flattened out.
Coltvet is not able to come around, and so Keith Pullman calls it a stalemate position where neither man can improve. 5-2 Coltvet.
Time out, guys. Blood.
Blood. Well, new rules these days. When you
get a lip? Is that
spot blood, has to stop it. Tracy Watts is in at 150 pounds for UNI, where Steve Hartle normally fits in. Not in the lineup today.
Okay, let's do it.
Tracy Watts of Bellevue.
Neutral.
He was a 2-time runner-up in high school. Never won a state championship, but both his junior and senior years he finished second in the state. That's no disgrace in the state of Iowa, I'll tell you. There's the end of the second period, 5-2 Colt Vet.
There's Tim Krieger. He's one of the outstanding wrestlers of our time. In the most recent years, Iowa State. There you see his credentials, and joined the staff of Briggsy's staff in September.
He's one of the 2 assistant coaches in the UNI program. 5-2 in favor of Colt Vet here. Now it's 5-3 after Watts comes out. So he's in this match, but he has not been able to score offensively against Colt Vet.
That's going. UNI. Out of bounds. 1 red.
There's a point for Colt Vet. It's Keith Pullman's opinion that
Break it, guys. Break it.
Tracy Watts was stalling, and so it's now 6-3. That's a point for Colt Vet. Watts having already been warned once. 6-3 with 1:30 left to go in the match. At this point, in between periods, they could be watching a movie, right? It's kind of quiet.
I see some former Northern Iowa wrestlers in the stands. Familiar faces, and they seem to come back and support their Panthers.
Classes don't pick up again until Monday at Northern Iowa, so there are probably fewer students here than there would normally be in a situation like this.
Hey, we got to put
It's Brad Penrith out coaching Rick Coltvet.
I don't know what you can do. It's ripping all the way down his face now.
I think both of these men have had bloody noses here. And that's why we're taking time these days. Anytime there's blood. We told you earlier there haven't been very many coaches at University of Northern Iowa. 6 in all those years. And Don Briggs has coached more matches than all but one man, Chuck Patton, now living in Washington State. Dave McCuskey, who was here when the University of Northern Iowa was Iowa State Teachers College and winning national championships back in the early 50s and late 40s and through the 50s. Bill Cole, what a great name there. His son has been a fine international wrestler since and a national champion. Paul Bender and Ed Lyons. That's all the wrestling coaching head coaches that UNI's ever had.
It's a storied history.
So here we come back into the center again. 150 pounds, Coltvet and Watts. Coltvet leading by 3. Watts, who has been warned for stalling and then penalized for stalling, has now been very active here, and he's going to have to be with 1:20 to go. Trailing by 3. Coltvet goes to the leg on the edge. Can he bring Watts in? That's the question from out of bounds. Back to the center.
Here we go.
We haven't seen people on their backs much in this match, in this meet so far. Buxton is the only one who had a near fall for Nebraska.
I've seen him rolling around a lot, you know, but not stopping him. You know, there has been a lot of rolling.
Now it's 7-3 after another penalty. So Watts made a flurry. Now he goes to his back.
This is not what they wanted to happen right here.
A near fall position.
Northern Iowa, that is.
And that's a 5-point move.
Timeout.
And it's 12-3.
Injury time, red. 2 takedown, 3 near fall.
That was a big 5-point move, makes it a 9-point lead with riding time, so it is a major decision situation for Coltvet. Let's see this.
Now here it gets, he's got an under and over, and he's trying to get a double underhook.
Okay,
then he drops down. He's got the hand behind the back. Now he's going to try to lower his hips. Now bear hug straight down to the back.
Start. Set.
Keeps the pressure on him.
He's going to go for the major
takedown.
decision. Maybe a technical fall if he can. He leads by 9. He let Watts out, Colfett did, and it's now 12-4. With 20 seconds to go, potentially dangerous there.
Potentially dangerous.
Keith Pullman brings them back to their feet for the last 15 seconds at 150 pounds between Nebraska and UNI. Watts in. He hasn't been able to get a takedown yet. It's looking more and more like a major decision for Rick Colfett, and there it is. He had riding time. The final score 13-4, a 9-point win for Colfett. That translates into 4 points for the team, a major decision. And now Nebraska takes the lead as we come to the intermission after 150 pounds. It's 10-7 in favor of the Cornhuskers over the Panthers. And after 150 pounds, we'll take an intermission here. Tim and I will be back in just a moment with more college wrestling coverage on your statewide home for sports, Iowa Public Television, a resource for Iowa's future.
You'll find TV worth watching here on Iowa Public Television, a resource for Iowa's future.
Here at West Gymnasium, after half the matches are wrestled, it's 10-7 Nebraska over Northern Iowa. We're waiting for the 158-pounders to come out, and we'll start the second half. Our schedule of events for Iowa Public Television is a great one, we think. Next week, we're going to tell you about the National Team Championships live, 4 o'clock. Our regular time is 2 o'clock on Sundays. You see all the matches at 2 o'clock, and then a couple of big specials at the year's end with Ohio State and Iowa State. You won't want to miss those. They're coming up ahead of us. But we want to talk particularly about the meet next week, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we will be here live from Lincoln, Nebraska, where 16 teams get together for the National Team Championships. Started out the Virginia Duels some years ago. National Wrestling Coaches Association runs it. And, man, it's going to be something.
Oh, it's going to be great. The top 5 or 6 teams in the nation, and plus the top teams from Division III, NAIA Division II.
We'll show you the final meet, and there'll be 4 mats at 4 o'clock, wrestling for first place, third place, fifth, and seventh. Now, we don't know who will be in those matches, obviously, those meets. They'll have worked all the way through the brackets to get to there, but maybe it's Iowa against Penn State. They'll probably be the 2 top seeds. And we'll try to show you not only that final meet, but that final championship meet, but also some of the best in the other mats.
Well, one thing we can guarantee them, there'll be some great matches.
The best wrestlers in the country, participating teams there include 8, I think, of the top 12. And
12 of the top 25
are there: Purdue, Brockport, Central State of Oklahoma, and Northern Montana. That's at Lincoln. That's next week. That's live at 4 o'clock. We're going to 158 pounds now in Cedar Falls on Iowa Public Television. College wrestling's second meet of the season. I'm Doug Brown with Tim Johnson. This one isn't settled yet, and you're now looking at the #1 ranked 158-pounder in the country. He's Matt Lindland of Nebraska, 23-0. Look at that record. And number 4 against him, it's Jamie Byrne of Northern Iowa. 2 of the best in the country at each other here in a close meet with a couple of controversial situations there in the first half.
Well, this is a very key match again. There's been a couple of so far. There's really a 4 or 5 that we knew beforehand would be key, and we haven't been disappointed yet. This is one here. Northern Iowa is in a position again, I think, Doug, that they need to win this to stay in the hunt for this match.
And nobody's beaten Lindland yet. Matt is a really fine story. Now is Byrne dropping down in almost for a good situation against Lindland. Lindland won a junior college championship, although never won a title in high school in Oregon. And he made up his mind after what he thought was a poor showing at the Nationals last year as a junior that he would do whatever it took to become a national champion, as Tim told you in the opening today. And he is now 23-0 this year. He's beaten everybody he's run into.
Yeah, he wants to be an All-American, and he wasn't last year. Actually, in the Nationals. The first round, he ran into Tom Ryan from Iowa, and Ryan had to take him down with 6 seconds left in the match to win that match. And we know that Ryan went on then all the way to the finals. And then Lindland came back and lost again, but he lost 14 times last year, Doug. He hasn't lost any this year, and so there's a marked improvement.
And Jamie Byrne has only lost 3. He's a senior from Cedar Rapids, Washington. Was a state champion there.
I think he came within 1 match of being an All-American at the NCAAs last year, so 2 top-quality wrestlers. Number 1, Lindland versus number 4, Byrne.
And nothing to show for it yet here in the first half of the 3-minute first period. Lindland knows that Byrne likes to get in on the underhook, and he's generally prevented it, but he has not scored himself. No score here, 1:10 to go, first period. Number 1 against number 4. Matt Lindland of Nebraska against Jamie Byrne of UNI. Between periods, too, we'll show you how many takedowns and whatnot, the statistics from the first half. The first 5 matches that were wrestled. So we're at 158 now. Every one of these is an important match because these teams are so evenly balanced.
Out of bounds. Yep.
Lindland back to the center against Jamie Byrne. You see the back there of UNI coach Don Briggs in the foreground. And again, we have to stop because I think Byrne got scratched. Is that possible? It looks like it. Now, in the past, you wouldn't stop just for any little show of blood, but these days you do. There's what happened in the first 5 matches. Nebraska leading 10-7. It's close all the way. Takedowns, just about what you'd expect. Normally, the team that that has the most takedowns has the fewer escapes, but that ain't not the case here. 2 near falls went to Nebraska. 10-7 team score. Here comes Byrne back on the mat again with a cotton plug on his nose.
Hey, Mark, I got some blood on the mat.
Keith Pullman comes back, asks the UNI manager to come out. Precautions being taken now that haven't ever been taken in the past, and a lot more matches are interrupted. Especially the people who tend to fight for head control. They cuff each other around a little bit. People get scratched. There's the first low shot by Lindholm, and Lindland is in for the low single, but Byrne is out of bounds before anything can happen, and it's no score as we come back to the center. Only 18 seconds to go in the first period.
Both wrestlers seem to know each other, and Lindland trying to keep Byrne out of his underhook.
Nice little low single. But it's too late in the period for anybody to score. First period, no score. Choice is Lindland's. He says, I'll take down. So Lindland goes in the underside. The referee's position starting the 2-minute second period. Here comes Byrne up on top. Byrne prefers to wrestle on his feet. And you see he let Lindland away. Lindland responsible for it as much as Byrne, but Byrne didn't argue much about it. 1-0 in favor of the Nebraska young man.
Both these wrestlers are in good, excellent shape, and both hardworking. Both coaches say that they're as hardworking as they have on the teams.
See, struggling for control of the head to get the setup that each man likes. Here's Byrne, the 2-on-1 on the arm for the first time. He showed that setup.
New start.
They're right on the edge, and they'll have to come back out to the center. You see Keith Pullman says new start with 1:11 to go. Second period, 1-0. Lindland, 1 escape is the difference. Byrne with the underhook in the left arm. He's See Lindland trying to keep that arm out of there.
Well, Lindland's a little more multifaceted than Byrne, and that's what, when you have one thing that you do real well, like Byrne and the underhook situation there, and the other man takes it away from you more or less, it very much limits you. And Lindland has dropped in on a low swing single, and then he's had a couple other varied attacks there, and that's what Byrne needs to do. He can't just...
You and I want to pick this up, get this, take it over and put another one in.
Timeout again because the plug came away from Jamie Byrne's nose. He's going to replace it. Okay. 1-0. There's no, we've had no takedowns here in almost 5 minutes. Through the first period and almost all the second period. 37 seconds to go. Lindland, the top-ranked man at this weight. Of course, Pat Smith, who's won 3 national championships because of Oklahoma State's problems with the NCAA, had to take a redshirt year this year. And he's not in the hunt.
So that really does put Lindland and Byrne in the hunt there.
Break it.
15 seconds to go.
I'm going to tell you one time, okay? 4 fingers on the head and that's it.
Looks like, well, here comes Coach Tim Newman.
He had the whole hand at first and one out. I warned him, okay?
You saw
he had the whole hand. No.
Watch it. Just watch it.
I'll watch it. Here you go,
What he was talking about is he can't bend the fingers back, and Coach Newman said that he was doing that. Referee Keith Pullman said that he had the whole hand. It slipped down. He's warned Byrne about it, and that's that.
The time ticking away there is the second period. What's left of the second period at 158 pounds of a 1-0 match.
Pretty good shot there. Those gray sweat socks that Lindland makes. He wears an old pair of headgear there. It seems like he's probably a little superstitious. The headgear from his old junior college, Clackamas Junior College, and the socks, I don't know where they're from.
Well, Lindland is on top. He has become, with the work over the summer, one of the great improvements he's made over the summer that has turned him into the #1 ranked wrestler has been his ability on top.
Well, when you go from 14 losses to no losses in mid-year, you're talking about great improvement. And that's a neat story when you really, truly do ask the coach, what do I need to do? And they sit down, they talk about it, and then they follow the script. He's a wrestler, Coach Newman says, that needs to have a game plan. And I'm certain that's true tonight. His game plan was to take away what Byrne was best at.
Now Lindland escaped in the second period for the only point of the match. Here he is riding Byrne in the third period. There's a warning against Lindland for what Keith Pullman considers inactivity on top.
Top man, set. Set.
1-0. Lindland. 38 seconds of riding time for Lindland.
Well, you can see why he likes to ride. He's got length, a lot of length. See, he's got a lot of leverage. He likes the leg, and there he's doing it. Yep. He can really stretch a guy out, especially when he's a lot taller and has that leverage on somebody like Byrne right here, and he's got only 6 seconds away from having another point for riding time, which would make it a 2-0 lead effectively.
Stalemate, back down.
He has the riding time, 1:01. 10-7, Nebraska has the team lead over Northern Iowa. After the first 5 weights, we're at the 6th weight, 158.
You can tell that Lindland has a lot of confidence in his top position right here, going against a top-ranked wrestler like Byrne, choosing top.
Flattened Byrne out again. Jamie has not been able to get out in the second period. We have 40 seconds to go.
Well, the key is, for a lot of this ride, he's been able to keep Byrne's hips down on the mat.
And when he does come up, he's able to return him to the mat there, pick him up and carry him. Now he has the leg in again. First time he did that,
back down.
He put Byrne in a really immobile situation.
Well, Byrne really needs to have a 2-point reversal here to even tie the match, because really there's no way that after a couple of seconds ticks off the clock, Lindland is locked in his point for riding time.
But again, Lindland, remember, was warned once, so that's always lurking as a possible.
He's doing a heck of a job riding right here.
Well, you can see what a difference it makes when you learn how to go better on top. Now he lets Byrne go. It's 1-1 on the board. An escape makes it 1-1, but there is riding time for Lindland. 1:39 with 5 seconds to go in the period. Second period will end right here.
That's it, guys.
Third period ends right here, 1-1. And Lindland gets riding time and wins. 2-1. Lindland is happy to win his 24th in a row.
You get going like that, and you don't, you know, and you get on a string, everybody's going to start coming after you, and a win is a win. Because when you're number one, they shoot at you. They're going to always wrestle as their best matches, your opponents usually. So every win's important for Lindland now. But
sorry if I misled you there about where the match was, but Lindland in the last period rode his man almost all the way out when he had riding time, and it was not time for Byrne to really be able to get up and take him back down again. He was able to let him go, didn't care if it was 1-1 on the board because riding time was his. 2-1 Lindland over Byrne, still undefeated. Now at 167, here's junior Kurt Benetham of Northern Iowa in the purple. Trying the underarm spin, or at least the beginnings of one. His opponent is Chad Nelson, who is another of these fine young freshmen recruits that Tim Newman has been able to attract to Nebraska. Three-time Minnesota champion. He's meeting the usual tough action in his freshman year in Division I, but he obviously has a lot of talent.
Benetham in deep on a single, cuts across for the double. Driving to try to get that two. Got the 2 points.
2-0 Benetham.
Out of bounds, wedge down. You had two.
2-0 Benetham with Nebraska leading 13-7.
Benetham, here we're in on the single right here. Cuts across to the double. Calls the 2 points.
Now, University of Northern Iowa knows with Corey Nelson coming up next.
Corey Olson,
I should say, that Chad Nelson might be a place where Kurt Benetham is going to try to really score if he can. UNI has to win this one.
Yeah, I'd say this match is close enough that it's going to be close, and it's just it's a big match. UNI needs to win it to stay in the match, and Chad Nelson's proven that he's a tough competitor. I'd be surprised if we found the opportunity on either side for a major decision.
And there is the young man from Nebraska, Nelson, on the edge. Well, Tim Newman seen a couple go against him tonight.
Well, I mean, you know, everyone knows when you're on the road, got to expect a few of those. That was a close call.
2-1 in favor of Benetham of UNI. But Nelson showed he can score. Right there. Freshman from Stewartville, Minnesota.
Benetham, of course, out of Valley High School in Des Moines. An All-American on the high school.
And Nelson scores. Nice counter, and he's up 3-2. Talented freshman.
Off the mat. Take him down on the mat, Red.
They met once at the Omaha Open. And it was a one-point match there. Benetham won it, but it was close. And it would appear that Nelson has improved a little since then.
Benetham up and out with the stand-up.
3-3. So they each have a takedown, they each have an escape. We have 35 seconds to go in the first period. Nebraska leads in the team score by 6. And we have this match and 3 more to follow.
Circle in, Red. Center.
3-3. Again, a double leg. Boy, I'll tell you, Nelson went right all the way to the bone with that one. But can he score? That's the question. He sure can. 5-3 in favor of Nelson.
Well, those are the kind you like to get and you hate to get against you. Right at the end, right at the buzzer. They hurt right here. In tight, lifts, gets his hips underneath him right here. Now he has to choose which side he's going to go to. Knows right where he is. Now watch him scoot his hips. He's going to scoot his hips around there, put the pressure on, stuff the head, and come around for 2 points.
Benetham had his choice here for the second period. Kurt decided to take the bottom position, and Nelson
there.
Now
that's a nice shot. Nice defense by Chad Nelson there. Very nice sprawl. Now back to their feet. Good action by both wrestlers.
So it's 5-4, Nelson over Benetham. Nebraska and UNI. Benetham down for a heel pick, but he hasn't scored yet.
He didn't finish it.
They're right on the edge, too. Now Benetham locks up around the body and had to give it up. He had to give the position up. Nelson came out of it, still leading 5-4.
Let's go, Kurt, now let's go. Right now, buddy.
Kurt Benetham from West Des Moines Valley. He lived in Sheldall, however, that's his hometown. North of Des Moines. Again, that double leg. Boy, he gets in there, and he has Benetham on his back, out of bounds. I don't think he called it two.
No back.
No back because they're out of bounds.
That was like a freight train. You know, we've seen some good doubles in the past. Look at this. Just really good technique right there. Got his level lowered there and drove through him for 2 points. Benetham's lucky not to get two against him there for back points.
Because it was out of bounds was the only thing that saved it.
You gotta take it. Here we go.
And Nelson has 3 straight takedowns. International start. He feels confident on his feet. He lets Benetham up. 7-5, Nelson. He's 4-3 this year in his first year. But boy, does he hit that double. Again, he got it. 9-5 now. 4 straight takedowns for Chad Nelson.
One thing.
Escape.
I'd say for a freshman and for anyone, he's got a great double. I'd say that's an understatement.
Benetham beat him at Omaha, as we said. But Nelson has been the man on the go here in the takedown. Now Benetham gets into that front headlock position, brings Nelson down where he can't use the quickness quite so much. Oh, he can use the quickness, and here he comes around again. Benetham trying to elevate or switch.
Right the situation before.
Up the clock.
2 points right at the buzzer.
Right.
That'll kill you. And it's killing him.
3 takedowns.
Down. Third period.
Those
In
must
that
be his
period.
parents, I'll bet, down from Minnesota. Good guess, anyway.
I would think so, and they're be happy with what they see. It's 11-6 in favor of Nelson, the freshman, against Kurt Benetham, who, an experienced wrestler, one of UNI's best here at 167 pounds. And Benetham in the third period had to start on
Time out,
top.
guys, break it. There we go. Let's go. Hurry up.
Now it appears he's going to try to see
We gotta get into a headgear.
what he can do on top.
Stay on the mat. Stay on the mat.
He is a pinner,
Hi.
and he would like maybe to get Nelson in some kind of mistake. And I'm sure he's going to give it a shot, but he is down by 5. Maybe his best chance is to try to turn him over, and that's what he and Don Briggs are talking about right now. But Nelson up by 5 and really on a roll with his on-the-feet wrestling. Starts here on the bottom.
Oh, he looks real good. He's looking like he's just gaining energy, gaining steam right now. Benetham's really going to have to turn it on, put a lot of pressure, and have a plan.
Knows that again, even though Nelson has a lot of talent, usually the weakness of the first-year people is on the bottom like this. They're not used to being underneath. They don't end up that way much in high school. Sometimes they aren't as good at getting out. Now Benetham is trying to
Stalemate. Back down, guys. Top man, use it or get off and go to
crank
timeout.
something, find something that will make up 5 points. Nebraska 13, UNI 7 in a team score here at West Gymnasium. Benetham cuts off that first move
Yeah,
again.
he does a nice job on that first move, getting the hips down, getting the legs elevated underneath the thigh.
Break it, guys. One red. Illegal hold. One red. Figure 4 over scissors.
Illegal hold.
Okay?
That didn't help
You understand what you
Benetham's cause.
Okay. Top man.
Did he figure 4?
Yes.
Start. No change. No change. No escape. That's 1 escape.
All right, they're even up now. 13-6 in favor of Chad Nelson. A 7-point lead for the Husker.
He's really controlling the match. He's done a nice job of keeping Benetton out of position, creating positions for him to drop down.
They both shot. Benetton reached.
That's a nice job of Benetton. He needs to finish this here.
He got it. 13-8.
Probably needs to put him back up again, look for a throw, but he likes, yeah, that's what he's doing.
1 escape. Out of bounds. New start.
14-8. 14-8 after the 1 point for the escape. We have 27 seconds left in the match. And Nebraska's Chad Nelson figures to pick one up that was questionable. Nelson with 5 takedowns in the first 2 periods. A good heel pick by Benetton, but Nelson managed to get away.
Finish it there.
And that's it. A big win for Nebraska. No riding time, although it was almost that much. 14-8 in favor of Chad Nelson of Nebraska. A big and an impressive win.
That was very impressive. I thought that he was solid all the way through. He kept good position, and he did some nice execution, especially on his feet.
16-7 now, Nebraska over the University of Northern Iowa. And here's one at 177 that Nebraska figures to win. Who's the choice here? Brian Benning was going to wrestle, or Jason Wedgbury was going to wrestle.
Shake hands, guys.
And this looks like Brian Benning, it is, of Ackley, Geneva, against the #1 ranked Corey Olson, who is a pinner, and boy, does he turn it on.
Wow.
Right from the feet,
I
right
told you he knew
away.
how to pin.
He's pinned 12 out of 13 of his victims this year. And Brian Benning managed to escape after a 5-point move.
Well, Corey Olson's a man on a mission this year. He's been real close a couple other times. He was 3rd his freshman year. He got hurt his sophomore year. He was 2nd last year. Been very, very close to winning it all, and I think that he's very mission-oriented this year. He has one thing on his mind, and he can do it in big style. Look at right here. He's got the overhook and the underhook, lateral drop to the back.
Here we go.
Real close to the fall. Nice move. Knew right where he was.
Neutral, guys. Neutral. Set.
5-1. Corey, the only loss he's had was to not to Tim Johnson. I don't think you can take him, Tim. And it isn't just the weight.
Just because I'm a little lighter.
Matt Johnson of Iowa State, who is his Corey Olson's big rival.
Yeah, Corey's one of those that I think that if he keeps it open, opens it up, you're going to have a hard time staying with him. That when he gets in when he has problems is when he lets his opponent slow him down, probably.
Olson across the body. Wants to throw. Very confident up here.
Out of bounds. Here we go.
Brian Benning is a senior from Ackley, Geneva. He was a state champion and placed actually 3 times. Olson with that really tough front headlock. And around he comes for the takedown, 1-7. 7-1 in favor of Olson. In fact, he looked like he carried that front headlock the way Dave Schultz used to, you know, get that front headlock and then slide around the outside.
Now look at this, see? I mean, this looks so innocent, but he had kind of like a headlock from the top position, and then he pulled him into a crab ride and got some points right there. And Benning probably didn't even know it was going to happen because, like I said, it doesn't hurt at all, and all of a sudden, boom, you're on your back.
10-1 now. 56 seconds to go in the first period. This is Corey Olson, the #1 ranked. Man, maybe the next ranking's because he lost.
Here we go again. See that? He's got a headlock there. He likes to pull him back, suck him back into something like a crab. You get the feeling that he doesn't like to do anything unless it takes his opponent to his back.
Senior from Hayfield, Minnesota, Corey Olson. There's a warning against Brian Benning on the bottom. situation where you say,
there's no
a tough headlock there.
Did it again. Headlock, sucked him into a crab ride, and he's scoring.
4, 5.
And it's going to be 13-1, just like that.
8 seconds. Come on, Brian.
3 more.
With a headlock. It's an unusual look and tilt. Only the ferocious do that. 13-1 as we end the first period, go to the second. Olsen starts on the bottom. Some awfully good people on this team. 2 number 1 ranked men. You'll see another ranked Nebraska wrestler at heavyweight, Rulon Gardner. Oh, Benning came out of that one with a situation where he almost caught Corey on his back. 13-1. Benning is still on top. Olsen got a pretty good rap when he came around there, like that, bang.
Well, Olsen definitely had visions of Benning flying through the air and slipped off and fell on his back, but it's not like the heavyweight match. There's a little more quickness there, and he was able to get off it. Sometimes if that was a heavyweight and you ended up on your back with your opponent on top, it was...
Now he's out.
One skate. Wrestle.
Trapped the arm, improves his position. Skates out from underneath. A takedown here would end the match, because it would be a technical fall.
That's 2.
And there it is. That's 16-1. That will do it.
That's it.
With 3 minutes and 49 seconds gone. It's a technical fall by Corey Olsen. 5 points for the Huskers, and it's 21-7 now. 14-point lead for Nebraska over UNI.
Well, here we've got an interesting match right here. Malachek from Northern Iowa and the young man from Moscow, Russia.
Yes, from Nebraska, this is Ovanes Oganesian. His eligibility works out that he's a senior. He finished 6th in the Soviet Championships in the year 1989. And if anyone knows about Soviet Championships, if you come out of one of those in those days alive, you know you're good. And Dave Malachek is ranked 4th in the country twice. Last year he came with one match of being an All-American, twice an NCAA qualifier, and twice a state champion in Iowa at Osage.
Out of bounds.
Ovanes Oganesian had a big match with Dan Troop of Iowa State, which he lost in overtime recently, and he's in there. He's tough with anybody, and there's Oganesian's takedown.
I think that's a key right there. You get that early takedown there in this type of match right here. Malachek's going to have to get up, get out, and really respond with a takedown of his own.
Got me in.
This is really the first time Oganesian's been wrestling a lot here in the last month or so. He took 17 hours of chemistry the first semester and really kind of worked out with the soccer team because he had a teaching assistant from assistantship from 3 to 7 every night, so he couldn't wrestle much with the team. And
Tim Newman says he reads chemistry books the way everybody else reads detective stories.
So if anyone thinks that he just came over to wrestle, they're badly mistaken.
Actually, his major in Moscow was something like, he said herbology. Now he had taken Malachek to his back, but was not able to hold him there. Yes, he did hold him there for 2.
Malachek's got to get up and go right here. He's got to get his motor running, use his shape, push, and come back. Not get it all at one time. It's 4-0 now. He needs to get an escape and get his game plan back together.
Oganesian turked him to his back for 2. It's 4-0. UNI trailing Nebraska 22-7. The Huskers have looked good here at the upper weights. And they have the number 4 ranked man in the country at heavyweight yet to come. Dave Malachek, ranked 4th for UNI, is trailing by 4 against Oganesian.
I'd say that Oganesion's making a statement about put me in the rankings in America now. He's not ranked, Doug, and he's had that close match with Troop. And look at this right here. I think that when we see the rankings come out next time, very likely we'll see Oganesion up in the top 12.
Well, Tim Newman told us that he thought if Oganesion got a first period takedown, he would win. And he got it.
Well, he got it
quick, and he also had a near fall, which I don't think he expected. His conditioning may be questionable. We'll see.
Yeah, all those equations that you study in chemistry don't do me much good in the third period, and so it just depends on how well he worked out with that soccer team, because he's going to need it against Malachek in the third period.
Malachek against Oganesian. Malachek of UNI, the home wrestler here on the West Gym mat.
Of course, Malachek's brother was heavyweight for Nebraska, Joe Malachek,
right,
a few years ago, and an All-American for Tim Newman. So Tim Newman knows Dave very well.
Malachek is in on the
He needs to finish that. He needs to finish it.
Oh, a good wizard.
Can't give up.
By
That's a good
Oganesian.
defense by Oganesian right there. Good flurry right there, but those are the kind of chances that you don't get that often, and he was in tight.
Strong hips. Now here's what's happened so far in case you missed the early matches. Brule 16-5 over Giese, and then Buxton and Velasquez for Nebraska. A tough one there that Hartle won 8-7. We went up to 150, a big one for Coltvet. Then Lindland and Nelson both won. Olson had a technical fall at 177. Nebraska has won the last 4 matches in a row, and they lead 21-7. Malachek started the second period on top, trailing 4-0. Dave Malachek. 4-1, I should say. I beg your pardon. Now they're back on the feet again, and they've traded escapes. One for Malachek, one for Oganesian, and the score is 5-1.
Malachek needs to get his offense going here. Needs to change his level just like that. He needs to get in and grip it tight and finish it right there. Nice job of moving. Nice job of changing his level. Now all he has to do is finish it. Can't give it up.
Oganesian has a good gyroscope.
Well, he had something to say about it. You're right there. Oganesian did a nice job of the hips right there.
Here we go, guys. Set. Right there. Neutral.
Ovanis Oganesian in the Nebraska lineup at 190 pounds, leads 4th-ranked Dave Malachek 5-1. Oganesian isn't rated, but as you say, that's short term. I think he's going to be, has to be. The college style, of course, is not his natural style. He's a freestyler.
Break it, guys. Break it.
Now there's something wrong with the
Wait a minute.
with the clock here.
Stop the clock.
Tim Newman comes over.
It was going.
Honestly, there was like...
It did stop, but it was going. Okay?
Yeah,
So,
no, I know.
Okay.
I know, most of it.
Run off like another 5 seconds. Is that all right? Because you ran off.
We need 2 more points.
5 seconds run off.
That's a joke, folks.
Yeah, I don't think...
Tim Newman says we need 2 more points.
Yeah.
And they all laugh. But
It was going.
I don't know whether I saw Briggsy laugh or not.
Right.
he did.
Oh,
He did.
Wait, set now.
All right, 5-1 with 35 seconds to go. The clock had stopped.
Things get a little lighter when you're the coach and you know that you can't lose a meet.
Now there's a nice high crotch by Oganesian.
And see, Oganesian's able to fight off that kind of attempt by Malachek. Malachek unable to do that against Oganesian. Oganesian's looking very, very strong.
Yeah, he was able to keep Malachek in close and stick the whizzer in there, and he kept his balance, but Oganesian got around the corner and behind. He's up 7-2 now. 7-2 after the escape. An impressive first 2 periods for Nebraska's Mad Russian, as they sometimes call him. Leading by 5. Now we go to period 3. Keith Pullman brings them back to the center. And this time, Oganesian. Well, no, Malachek was on the bottom.
No, Malachek started on top.
That's right. He started on top.
Stalling, Nebraska. Stalling, Nebraska. Right here.
There's a warning against Oganesian for being late to come on.
Set, top man. Armstrong start. Break it, caution red. Wyatt?
The caution.
I'm sorry.
Now Tim Newman wants to come out
That
and discuss this.
Here. I'm sorry. That was a caution on the bottom man, okay? Caution UNI.
Caution on the bottom man.
Caution on UNI.
So he said red, but he meant green.
What do you, Armstrong start. Set.
Purple.
1 green.
Red, that's right. Green on the other side of the coin. So now out comes Malachek, trailing by 4. It's 7-3. Dave Malachek, 4th-ranked wrestler at UNI, 190 pounds, needs to make up 4 points.
Well, it's always hard to Olympic-style wrestling. It's hard to make up 4 points on the former Soviet or the Russian wrestlers, and I can imagine that they know how to protect the lead. And so Dave's got his work cut out for him. Dave Malachek from Northern Iowa.
As long as they make offensive moves, too, and you saw Oganesian make a whip a high crotch. He likes to go to Malachek's left leg. 1:15. Well, when he came under, Oganesian wasn't there.
Well, Oganesian floated very well right there. He felt the attack, and he was able to float. He didn't spin around. He's not going to do anything that puts him in danger, but he did a nice job there in defense.
7-3 in favor of the man in red from Nebraska.
Now right here, this is where Malachek,
oh boy,
he had it.
Oganesian just flattened.
Broke. Yeah, he broke him with his hips.
Got terrific hips from the looks of it. He really has, don't you think, TJ?
I think they're as strong as I've seen, and he's gonna, if he can get a little more offense, he's gonna be a hard 190-pounder to beat.
9-4. After the escape, 9-5. Nine to 4. I was right the first time. 18 seconds to go. That's in the match. Nebraska has won 4 straight matches here and could win this one against number 4 ranked Dave Malachek.
It's a good win for Oganesian there.
It was very impressive. No riding time, but 9-4 for Obanas Oganesian for Nebraska against Dave Malachek, ranked 4th. It's now 24-7.
That was a barometer match right there for both individuals. Oganesian knows he can go with the best, and I'd say Malachek, the kind of guy that I know that he is, knows what he has to do now. He needs to work on some things. He needs to take his performance up a notch.
There's the number 4 ranked heavyweight in the country from Nebraska.
Talk about impressive. Last year he was 75 pounds heavier.
75 pounds. What did he do?
He went on a diet, worked out. He's increased. He dropped his weight by 25% and increased his strength by 75%. That's pretty impressive.
Maybe the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, he lost
75 pounds.
75 pounds.
Strength 26%. That was what we got from Tim Newman. And Justin Greenlee, sophomore from Waverly Shell Rock for UNI, an NCAA qualifier in his freshman year, manages to avoid trouble on the edge. Goes out of bounds without a loss of a point. It's 0-0 here. A big roll by Nebraska from the middleweights on. They've won 6 consecutive matches.
One of the reasons that the Nebraska heavyweight has improved so much, Coach Newman said, is because he's been able to work on his wrestling. Last year, he was always working on making weight.
That's right, you have to make weight now at heavyweight. He's about, what, 265 now? Single leg, high leg snatch there by Gardner, and boom.
As ill-advised by Greenlee right there. He should have stayed on top of it. He was at the edge of the mat, and he reached down, and he didn't really have the position to reach down for an ankle pick.
This is what Gardner likes to do, run this armbar series. Real tough armbar series on top.
Both of these heavyweights are fast improving heavyweights. Very likely to see each other in the NCAA.
Watch the shoulder.
Going against the elbow. Can't do that. Back down.
Right here, he's on the edge of the mat, and Greenlee reached down trying to ankle pick. He really didn't have the position. He didn't have a deep enough whizzer in on Gardner, and Gardner was able to take advantage of it and get the 2 points.
That's correct. No. Shoulder had nothing involved in it. It was the elbow in a bad position.
If he comes up, the shoulder's going to get in bad position.
Right, but the shoulder didn't have anything to do with it. It was at the elbow. The arm would have broke off, okay? Back down.
An explanation from Keith Pullman of why
Set.
he called Gardner off that armbar.
Top man.
Gardner on top. Can't prevent Greenlee from coming to his feet. But he maintains perfect hand control.
On the mat, not off. Set. Top man.
He finished third in the Big 8 last year, won 2 matches at the Nationals.
Both of these are flexible heavyweights, Doug. I think they do a nice job of moving. Look at that. That's good.
Greenlee
coming out, doing a little short sit.
Yeah.
Gardner, for a heavyweight, very flexible, he floats very nice on top.
He's been winning a lot of matches, his coaches say, on shape this year. Just keeps going, just keeps going. Now he caught Greenlee on his back just for a moment, and it was all Justin could do to come back to a safe position again. It's a 2-0 lead for Gardner with 50 seconds to go in the first period.
And you get the feeling that Gardner likes this position right here. He's got Greenlee broken down flat on his belly right now. He's got an armbar. Greenlee's able to get out of the armbar right here.
That was an armbar on the other side too, so he's not obviously partial one way or another. Warning against Greenlee.
That's a lot of pressure. Gardner doing a nice job of breaking him down. He's really got a lot of pressure on Greenlee right now, and he's looking to ways to turn him over.
Break it, guys. Break it, guys. One green. You take him down on the mat, not off.
There is a point, a penalty, a charge against Gardner. Greenlee gets a point, and the Nebraska coaches are asking what it was about, but we heard Pullman say, take him down on the mat and not off. Greenlee up by 1 at the end of the first period. It's 2-1 over Justin Greenlee, the sophomore from Waverly. There's the Greenlee
that's
patriarch there.
Jerry Greenlee, right over my right shoulder, sitting right behind me and watching this match and hoping that it comes out in favor of his son. There's Joel Greenlee, assistant coach for Briggsy, an All-American a couple of years ago, and probably Justin's personal coach in the room.
Justin Greenlee is not able to maintain the top position as he started on top. And
now he tried to put the legs in and slid right off. Now Gardner's got him in trouble.
2. Reversal. A reversal for Gardner with about 20 seconds gone in the second period. He goes up 4-1.
You get the feeling that Gardner was ready for Justin's legs to go in, and it was just like, all right, here it comes. And he performed his defense very well, turning it into a 2-point reversal.
Rulon Gardner, a senior from Afton, Wyoming.
It's kind of neat to see wrestlers come out of Wyoming and Montana. You don't hear a lot of wrestlers at the Division I level, especially at the ranked level, coming out of some states, because there's, the states like Iowa and Pennsylvania and Illinois and Minnesota and Oklahoma, Ohio, right there in the center of the United States, have been dominant for so long.
Greenlee is able to come to his feet, but again, we have Gardner on the leg, takes it up high, and maintains the advantage. 4-1. I'll tell you what, the old, if there's any jinx in West Gymnasium, it took a break with the students, I guess, because Nebraska has had a strong day of it here. 24-7 after 9 matches. 4-2. Gardner lets Greenlee go.
Touch and go, don't leave.
You can tell Greenlee's taller.
Your offense, Gardner, your offense.
Probably not a lot of difference in weight.
Out of bounds, new start.
But he's not quicker. That's what impresses me about Gardner. He's quick, he's flexible. Look at that. Just ran right around him.
The quick counter.
Nice job of picking up the ankle right before Greenlee was about ready to scoot out. Gardner stayed with him the whole time. Spun around him, Greenlee gets back, spins around him again, catches the ankle, gets the 2 points.
6-2.
Watch this flurry right here. Justin's in, he spins around him. Justin rolls away. Look at him catch that ankle right there to secure the 2 points.
6-2 in favor of the Husker here at heavyweight. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. All over the state of Nebraska on Nebraska Public Television as well as on Iowa Public Television today. We're very happy to have you with us. And we invite college wrestling, you a college wrestling fan, to watch live next week as we go to Lincoln, Nebraska for the National Wrestling Coaches Association dual meet tournament. The best ones will be there. The best teams will be there. We'll have it for you live at 4 o'clock.
These two will be there.
You bet. Very active heavyweight Gardner. He doesn't poke around. He just keeps coming at you, and he's up by 4 with 15 seconds to go in the second period.
Don't you get a feeling that the Nebraska coaching, well, speaking of coaches, there's Don Briggs. Probably not exactly what he was hoping would come out tonight, but we've got 2 months left in the season for him to go back to the drawing board.
And he had a couple of people out of the lineup tonight, too.
Right. But don't you get the feeling that Nebraska, with the
difference.
national team championships at home,
they could be
hope
tough.
that they can sneak right in there and be there challenging for that championship?
Well, I'll tell you, a couple of these people that you don't see rated were impressive here. Chad Nelson, a fine freshman. He can't get anything but better.
That just depends on how you match up then when those other dual meets.
And Oganesian obviously has the talent.
I think Newman, here's Coach Tim Newman right there, has built a squad that is never going to be really weak year in and ever in a year. I think that he's got one of those top 5 or 6 year in and year out at Nebraska.
Gardner started on top.
Move your feet. Move your feet.
And it's now 8-4 after that flurry. 10-4 after that takedown. Points piled up in a hurry here now, just beginning the third period. This is where Gardner feels strongest. He figures his advantage against most heavyweights is in the third period when he's in better condition than they are. And that's not to say anything against Justin Greenlee at all, but Gardner, his coaches say that he works out. He's one of those people who works out full tilt all the time. Never stops working hard. He goes at it 100%. So when you get into the match, you just expect him to keep on doing exactly what he did in practice. And he doesn't have to think about it or do anything different.
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
And he leads 10-4 over a fine young sophomore, Justin Greenlee.
Optional start.
I think you're right. I think you've made a real good point there, Doug, in that the matches, a great percentage of the matches are won in the practice room before they ever go out on the mat. Attitude, training habits, the technique they drill. You prepare to win, and the greatest percentage of the matches are determined on how well you prepare. It looks like this Gardner prepares very well as a heavyweight. Justin Greenlee, only a sophomore, like we said, improving every match. He's up against one of the best heavyweights here, and you know that he's going to keep improving. I think we have 2 bona fide, legitimate All-Americans right here that we're looking at. And of course, Gardner ranked that high. Justin will have to climb the ladder a bit because currently he's not ranked.
11-5 after that penalty point. Greenlee was called for stalling. Oh, and again, real quickness there. Greenlee made a low shot, and Gardner was no longer there when Mr. Greenlee arrived.
Keep walking. Keep your hips in and walk slow. That's 2
And around he comes for the 2, 13-5, and a nice takedown.
Out of bounds, guys. Easy
Oh,
does it.
fellas.
Easy does it. You okay?
He came flying into the...
I'm glad that sign was there.
That was it was a table between you and...
Oh, was it? It wasn't that strong side. There's Diana Briggs, Coach Briggs' wife. Strong supporter of many years of Panther wrestling.
You betcha. And she also... She's a real contributor to...
well, she brought us cookies tonight.
Yeah, well, when she does that every chance.
2 red. 1 green.
15-7 now. As this match rolls down to a conclusion, 27 seconds to go. Well, I'll tell you, one way to wrap this up in summary is just to say that Nebraska won the last 7 matches. 7 in a row.
Out.
And they're on the verge of getting a major decision here. There is an 8-point difference for Gardner, and he has riding time over Greenlee. Nebraska impressive in a visit to West Gymnasium here on College Wrestling in our 2nd week of the series. And next week,
That's it, guys.
there it is. That's a major win
Good man.
for Gardner. And it makes it 28-7.
That's a major win for Nebraska, too.
It is. That's an impressive win. Iowa Public Television's next broadcast of college wrestling will be next Sunday at 4. Live, Lincoln, Nebraska, the National Team Championship. Good teams around. And that's next Sunday at 4. Live, college wrestling plan to watch. Now, for Tim Johnson, I'm Doug Brown. Good night for Iowa Public Television Sports.
Major funding for this program was provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television.